If investing feels confusing or overwhelming, know that you are not alone. The financial world is full of jargon, and the risk of losing your hard-earned money can feel very scary. But the hope that the money will grow keeps people curious and hungry to learn about investing. The good news is that you do not need to know about every stock or every technical detail to get started or to even get good. All you need is to understand the basic concepts, and that's exactly what we will do in this video today. In my last video, we talked about saving versus investing. Today, we'll focus more about investing, and by the end of this video, you will know all about the basic concepts like risk and return, compounding, time value of money, and the psychology of investing. So let's get started. So why does investing even matter? You've probably heard about the time value of money, the idea that money today is worth more than money tomorrow. One reason is inflation, which I've talked about in detail in my last video. But the second more important reason is that money today has the potential to make more money tomorrow. $100 today is worth more than $100 tomorrow because the $100 today can make you $110, $120, $130, or even more depending on where you put it. And that's where investing comes in. Saving protects your money, but investing is what actually will make your money grow and beat inflation and other rising costs. And to understand how investing actually works, you really only need to learn about two main things. One is the role of time in compounding, and the second is risk and return. Let's start with compounding. Compounding is when your money is making more money. So it's growth on growth. For example, if you invest $1,000 at 8% today, next year you'll have $1,080. Now the year after, you won't just be making money on your original $1,000, you're also making money on that additional $80 that you earned last year. So the year after, you now have $1,166 because the $80 that you made last year is also making you money. That cycle keeps repeating. Your money is making more money. Now, compounding also works with savings, but at a much lower rate. In a high interest savings account, you might get 3% on the $1,000 you've invested. So the growth is very less compared to investing. And that's the main difference. You don't see returns of 8 to 10% when you're just putting your money in a high interest savings account. And now why does that happen? It's because you're willing to take a little bit of risk when you are investing, which brings us to the concept of risk and return. Of course, nothing in life, especially in money, is free. If you take higher risk, you get higher returns. And the rule is simple. The more returns you want, the higher risk you would have to take. In a savings account, you have no risk. Your money is always going to be there. And so you don't really get high returns. If you start investing in the stock market, particularly in single stocks, stocks can go up and down, right? There's a lot of risk when it comes to investing just in stocks. And so you do see higher returns when you're investing in stocks. But again, you're taking more risk with that. If you want to lower your risk, you can invest in an ETF or an index fund. That way, you are still invested in the stock market, but you are investing in multiple companies together. And so you can diversify your risk, and so your risk is lower. Crypto, on the other hand, very high risk. You have the potential of massive returns, but you also have a very high probability of losing all your money. Risk is not a bad thing. It's just the price you pay for growth. The important thing is knowing how much risk you can take, which is your risk profile or your risk appetite. Now, we have discussed that higher returns come with higher risk, but the question you have to ask yourself is how much risk can you take on based on your goals, timeline, and resources. Age is a big factor. When you are younger, you have time to ride out the ups and downs, and you also have a lot less responsibilities compared to when you're much older. If you're closer to retirement, you don't want to take big bets with your money because you're going to need that cash sooner. The good thing is you don't have to make an all or nothing choice. It's not that you have to either take on too much risk or none at all. You can diversify it. For example, you can keep a little bit of cash for emergencies, a little bit you can invest in stocks, a little you can invest in ETFs and index funds. And if you have some money left after all of that, which you are okay if it completely is gone away, you can invest that in crypto. Investing today has become a lot easier than it was years ago. There is also a lot of content around investing, but you have to make sure that you're taking that content from a very credible source and also using your common sense. And there are plenty ways of getting started, which brings us to the next point of how to actually get started in investing. The first step is to open an account. This can be through a bank, a brokerage or an investing app like Wealthsimple, Questrade, Trading212, Vanguard, depending on where you live. And the next step is to start very small if you have no experience whatsoever. You can start with just $50 or $100. You do not need thousands of dollars to invest. In fact, if you're new, you should not start with thousands of dollars in investing. The goal is to build a habit, and starting small when you're learning something new is extremely important. A simple way to begin is with an ETF or an index fund. What that does is that it spreads your money across a bunch of companies. And so if one goes down, you're still protected. But do not expect massive returns, like crypto-like returns in an ETF, because remember, you're taking less risk. But that's the best way to get started in investing. Another good thing with starting small is that if you make a wrong decision, you won't worry too much about it, and you will be willing to learn more and become better because you've started small. The key with investing is consistency. It's more about time in the market than timing the market. The longer you stay invested, the more compounding is going to work in your favor. And if you think that you forget to invest and it's not really a habit, you can automate your paycheck. Investing really has gotten a lot simpler. In Wealthsimple, for instance, I'm just familiar with that app because it's the one that I use. You can automate a little bit of your paycheck. So a small percentage every month or bi-weekly, however you get paid, can go into investing directly, and you don't even have to worry about it. So if investing really is that simple, what is the biggest challenge when it comes to it? The biggest challenge when it comes to investing is not really the technical side of it. It's more the psychology of investing. Now, you might not believe this, but the market is moved more by emotions than it is by actual technical analysis. There are two kinds of fear. One is FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. Stocks are going up. Everyone is invested. People are making so much money, and you're sitting on the sidelines and you don't like that. And so you step into the market. But at that point, the market is at its top. On the other side, there's just plain fear. When you see everything dropping, you go into panic mode and you want to protect yourself and you want to protect your cash. And so when markets are up, you have entered the market, and as soon as things start to go down, which it will because everything goes up and down, you step outside. You've done the complete opposite of what you should be doing: buying low, selling high. And that's why trading out of emotion, whether it's FOMO, the fear of missing out, or plain fear, is a horrible way to invest. The better way is to have a plan, stay consistent, and let time and compounding work in your favor. The more you learn about it and understand more concepts like realized and unrealized loss and stick to the fundamentals, you will be way ahead of a lot of people, and you will really see the magic of investing. Now, if you want to step back a little bit and revisit your concepts about saving and investing, I have a video that you can watch right here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.